Greg, you're on 97.5 The Fanatic. What's up, Greg?
Hey, you got to have the right mouse.
Yeah. Get your hands off your mouse, Greg. Let's go.
Hey, I'm not at all enamored with Daryl Morey's new endeavor, but, I'm wondering, have we seen the best of Aaron Nola?
Maybe. Well, you pick on Nola. You're just a Nola picker.
Well, I like when he plays well. He's just been inconsistent. I mean, he was inconsistent before the injury.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, I like Nola, and I root for him, but he's got this complex delivery. He wasn't great before the injury. I don't expect he's going to come back being great. Let's say, just hypothetically, he continues to struggle. They're going to have a plethora of starting pitching when Painter comes up, assuming everything pans out. What do you think they're going to do?
Nola will be in the rotation, Greg. Trust me, they're not going to do anything with Nola. They'll trust him. Yeah, listen, they've trusted him before. He's come through. He's been erratic sometimes, but he's a veteran pitcher who knows how to pitch. There's not really anything else you could do with him but make him a starting pitcher. They don't have any leeway to do anything with him. They've signed him to a big contract.
Yeah, I mean, I guess let's say he was not signed to a big contract. Just again, it's a fantasy, but would that make a difference?
Well, what would you want to do with him? Release him?
Well,
I'm trying to figure out what your aim is here. What you want to do with Nola? You really can't do much with him. He doesn't. He isn't on the last year of a contract. He's got a long-term deal. He's a bona fide starting pitcher who's had experience in the postseason. They're not going to do anything with him.
Well, the hypothetical was if he continues to struggle.
If he continues to struggle, all right, Greg, you're the GM. He continues to struggle. What are you doing with him?
Well, I guess if the contract was no object, I would buy him out.
But the contract is an object. That's what I'm asking you. What will you do with him? He continues to struggle. What are your options?
Well, let's say they could write the check to get rid of him.
They're going to write a $100 million check. Come on. They're not going to write a $100 million check.
No, that's true.
I don't know, Greg, I don't know. I think you've hit a wall here on Aaron Nola. You just got to hope that he pitches better. There's not much more you can do in the thought process with Aaron Nola. Is there, right?
No, I don't think there's much else you can do there. I think just, and also happy birthday, Aaron Nola. Well, baseball.
Oh, it's his birthday?
Yeah.
How old is he now?
He is now 32.
32?
Age 32.
Still young enough to be an adequate pitcher.
And I think the question he poses originally of have you seen the best from Aaron Nola? If you want to say that his 20s, that 6-7 year stretch where he made over 200 starts, gave you 1,200 innings, and was one of the best pitchers in baseball at that time, most consistent pitchers in baseball if you want to go in that time. Yeah, if you want to say that's his best, you were paying him for the front load of this contract. So I understand people when he's sitting here with the 6 ERA and the horrible start to the season he has, not pitching right now because he's hurt. If you want to say, yeah, you've probably seen the best of him, yeah, okay. If he's still a mid-3s ERA guy for you over the next couple of seasons, this year I think the number's already shot, but I think
he's going to be adequate.
Yeah, he's going to
be adequate enough.
And you don't know. I know a lot of people, I've seen this float out the last couple of days on social media. People are like, well, that's why you couldn't have given Nola the contract at the time because you had Abel, you had Painter coming up, and you now blocked. You've made this so guaranteed that Abel's going to get traded. You've seen one game from Mick Abel. We are so fascinated with the new that we forget what you've had. And I mentioned those numbers of what you had with him. He's been a staple of consistency for you in that rotation. Where every fifth day he takes the ball and he gives you an opportunity to win a baseball game. I get frustrated when he gives up a home run too. I'm not sitting here saying I don't sit here like, oh man, another one over the fence. But really, even last season where people were livid with him with the home run ball, it was still a mid-3s ERA. There are teams across baseball that would kill for a guy that's going to pick up the ball for 200 innings and give you mid-3s ERA throughout an entire season. Like, that's why I don't understand. People love to hate the guy. I think it's because we've become enamored with what is new, and he's been here so long, and you know what the shortcomings of him are. He is a fine pitcher. I think he is going to be fine when he gets back. It's just a matter of will his velocity come back to what it should be? Because if he's sitting high 80s and nibbling around, it's going to be a problem for him.
Good, yeah. I think he'll be fine. I'm not really worried about him as much as I'm worried about. I get too many other worries. You know, like Nola is down on the priority list of worries for me right now.
Yeah, I think we're concerned a little bit more with what the rest of the rotation is and the fact they keep selling you Taijuan Walker as a solution, as a high leverage guy in your bullpen.
Yeah, that's where I am right there. The top four of the bullpen is where I'm focused.
I can't believe we're living in a world where they're trying to convince us Taijuan Walker is a high leverage guy.
Well,
Dave Dombrowski on that podcast, we played it last week, said we saw him out there twice. Those 2 bullpen appearances were multi-inning, low-leverage bullpen appearances where he pitched to a 3 ERA.
We think this is the beauty. We think his stuff plays. That's what I love that one.
Yeah.
We think his stuff plays because he's got a good splitter. All right.
Yeah, he might strike guys out
who had a
in
good
the 6th
splitter?
inning.
Remember Hector Neris?
Oh,
really
Hector the Protector.
But he couldn't throw it 50 straight times.
No.
All right, let's go to Silver in Germantown. What's up, Silver? Oh, wait, what did I do to Silver? Silver, I screwed up. Silver, call back. I just messed up. I pushed the wrong button. Silver!
Silver, come back.
Silver, call. Silver, come back. Yeah. Silver, call back. I messed up. All right, let's go to Chuck in South Jersey. Chuck, you're on 97.5 The Fanatic. What's up, Chuck?
Hey, what's up, Mike? How you
doing, buddy?
Good. So the first I'm hearing about this, the Daryl Morey produced musical is just like a few minutes ago when you brought it up.
Oh, it's spellbinding, man.
Yeah, I'm one of I have become like one of the worst Sixers haters over the last few years, and completely disgusted with the franchise. I don't even watch them play. I'm like, my mantra is boycott the Sixers, and I don't even know what to do about them. But this is just another thing. This is just like more fuel to the fire, I guess you could say.
Let me read one more paragraph for you. The project originated when he was in the front office of the Houston Rockets, when he linked with playwright and fellow basketball fan Mickey Mayer. Mayer reached out to Morey when he noticed Morey shared in an Q&A with fans that if he had not pursued a career as a basketball executive, he would have been a theater director. He's a better theater director than he is basketball executive right now, for crying out loud. What are we talking about? You should have pursued it.
Well, it's just it's a shame, for the Sixers, because you have a general manager that has other interests that take a priority, and then you have an owner that has other interests in sports with the Commanders and the hockey team that seem to take a priority as well. And meanwhile, we're stuck with whatever the Sixers are going to be from year to year, I guess.
Well, the least you can do is put those guys into play in some form, stick them in there as a prop,
I guess,
as a tree or something.
Yeah, that's right. So I wanted to ask you something about. I had an opinion about the Phillies, kind of a big picture thing. I was just curious, what you thought about this, because I really like this Phillies team a lot, and I think they're very good. I like watching them play. In the last few years, they've been very entertaining and disappointing at the same time. But I see the Phillies is they're an organization that they don't develop enough homegrown talent to really be at the top of the heap, I guess you could say, because most of their best players seem to be free agents, and the guys that have come through their system, Stott, Bohm, you got Marchand, Rojas, Kerkering's a nice piece, Nola, but they don't really seem to. Their farm system just isn't really producing star power. And I kind of think that's really sort of where the limitation of this team is. I think to have a really championship-winning organization, you need to produce your best players from your farm system. I just don't see this team doing that.
Yeah, they don't produce outfielders.
Outfielder. When was the last time they produced a decent outfielder?
Yeah, they haven't produced an outfielder with any sock. It's kind of weird when you think about it.
And yeah, especially when, the prospects, how many prospects are outfielders? It's the most popular position.
I know. So they got to get somebody with some pop that can play outfield.
Yeah, and they bring some of these guys up. There's a Darren Ruff, for example. They bring these guys up, and nothing really happens with them, and it's kind of well, where you're at. You're kind of with the left fielder of the week. Yeah. Castellanos has been solid, which is okay, fine. But, the center fielder, I mean, okay, you see what we have. So
Yeah.
I just don't know. And then it's like, okay, so you're coming up on a trade deadline. It's like, well, the farm system hasn't produced a lot of players. You have some good prospects, but are they going to be any good too? Like, you know what I mean? I don't get where how they're going to get better.
Listen, they have an outfield prospect right now. It could be a starting center fielder for a lot of years. So we'll take that. But they don't have anybody with a lot of pop. Like this Otto Kemp is kind of a weird story. Like he's just a guy without a position.
It might be the chair because I did just sing a couple moments ago, which I don't think I've ever done in this program, and it might be taking up for a guy who's probably not good enough, but I want to see it anyways. I'm okay if we stop with the Weston Wilson experience and at least try the Otto Kemp experience.
Yeah, I don't know.
Putting a guy out there who's out of position.
You can't do that either. They make it so difficult, man. Honest to God, they get these 4A players with no positions. They're loaded with that kind of character. No position guys that are 4A players.
Yes, that are going to rakeably high value. Right. And you're like, you know what, let's run into one at Citizens Bank Park.
Exactly. It was the guy they had, the left-handed guy. Was it David Dahl?
David Dahl. Yeah.
He came here. Oh, look at this. They found a real find. And then he went 0 for 70, and he was gone.
You can't give up on David Dahl.
No.
You can't give up on him.
By the way, he brought up Darren Ruff. You see if Darren Ruff is suing?
I did.
What's it, the Giants he's suing?
I think he's suing the Reds.
The Reds, yeah.
Great American Ballpark.
What was that lawsuit about?
I guess he got tripped over a tarp that had a career-ending injury.
He was chasing a foul ball, and he didn't see the tarp and ran into the tarp, and apparently the tarp caused a career-ending injury.
Wow.
Groundskeeper got to be sweating.
I know if he's looking for a job in baseball, whether that'll happen now.
Yeah, no. I think you're done with Major League Baseball at that point.
All right, Silver's back with us. We'll get you afterwards, Silver. That was my bad. 610-632-0975 is how you come in. If you got any ideas for some Sixer players as characters in a musical, I'd love to hear it. It's the Mike Missanelli Show on 97.5 The Fanatic.
Thanks for watching the video, guys. Appreciate you guys checking out things with the Mike Missanelli Show. If you want more from us, check out the playlist right here to get this one. Check out all the playlists. There's a lot to watch.